Hi, I'm Wendell G. back here with you, sipping on some green tea while good coat of heavy snow blankets my backyard out here in Yukon, Oklahoma. Green tea, man, I've been on a tea drinking binge ever since my daughter got home from college a few years ago. She discovered this weird this teapot thing where the carafe sits on a base and heats through induction, I guess. There is no plug, between the base and the carafe. But anyway, she brought that brilliant invention home, and I've been a tea drinking fool ever since then. So yeah, appreciate it. Shouts out to her. She's actually headed to Washington D.C. The end of this month, and she's taking a leap of faith. She has no job there. She's just gonna go. Her boyfriend lives there. He works for the Republican National Convention, and yeah. Anyway, so kids are going to be coming to my house for Thanksgiving this year, so been thinking about them today, sipping on my green tea. All right, well, I took a longer break than I thought I was going to do. I had started going through the trades and realized I was covering the earlier trades of the year and not the deadline trade. So I want to focus on the deadline trades. We're at the end of the year. We're at game 140. We've got 24 games left before the end of the season. So I want to focus on the trade deadline trades here. And we'll go from last backward. So the most recent trade, the last trade at the deadline, was Istanbul sent a pile of players to Buenos in return for 31-year-old reliever Artak. Artak shit the bed. And Artak, well, it's been a tough week for Istanbul. And Artak, he got it done in a couple of games, but but he gave up a run. It hasn't been the greatest situation. Istanbul had a tough week, and here you can see four losses in a row, 5 losses in a row, and then 8 losses out of the last 9 games. So almost coinciding with Istanbul's attempt to get better, stuff went south on them. So anyway, sometimes these things are just not, they're kind of out of our control. So anyway, what else happened? Let's see. Let's pull up here. Good Air, Buenos, Artak. So Istanbul and for Artak. Hey Jimmy, you want to hop up? You want to go back outside? All right. Oh, I got to pause it here. My dog wants to go back out in the snow. And I'm back. Okay, Jimmy is fixed up. She kind of surprised. She doesn't care for the snow. Well, I guess it's the overcast day. She does not like weather at all. Okay, so Istanbul kind of went in big to bring in Artak, to bring in a good reliever. You see they sent Yagis, Cuevas, and a 6th rounder. Let's go check out a few of those guys in return for, as you can see, here's what Super Mario 9000 thinks about Artak. One great knee-breaking curveball and a mediocre changeup, and then a couple of cutter, poor slider. Really good at holding runners, a lefty reliever. Kind of thought Yank would get him for a 1-out as a loogie, a 1-out guy. But as we saw in his pitching stats, he's being used for more than just 1 out. Where's he set up? Artak. Just a guy in middle relief in the bullpen. Where you at, Artak? Middle relief, used more often, yeah. The go-to guy in the pen. So he's got another loogie. Ben Wadi is being used as the loogie guy. And did he just bring him up? Oh man, 3 appearances. He's getting rocked. Okay. Okay. Well, let's back. This is gonna take forever if I don't get on down the road with it. In return, Istanbul sent to Buenos Rageb Pastafad, great closer, but age 38 and making 14 million. Man, this guy, closers, man. I value a good closer, a great closer, but man, for 14 million, I have a hard time stomaching 14 million bucks for a starting pitcher. But whatever. Pastafad had a decent season at Istanbul, saving 13 games, and now he moves over. Probably, I'm guessing, more of a salary dump to Buenos. How much is Artek making? 12 million. Yeah, that was to make the salary work for this trade. For Buenos, the real deal was he gets a couple of pitching prospects. Luis Cuevas, very young, age 19, at Los Cumbres now. And Ernesto Llagues, a righty. And, I wouldn't worry too much about this Super Mario 9000's pitch or stuff rating because, if his pitches develop, he's going to have a higher than 40 stuff rating. So, good-looking pitch prospect here. 19 years old and also at but with a ruptured UCL, man. So I guess that's the gamble right here. Will he? Oh my goodness, when did that happen? Date of injury, June 1st. So, okay, so Buenos knew he was getting a risk with Llagues. What about Cuevas? Cuevas, he's healthy, lefty. Yeah. This was, and also there was a 6th round pick involved. So. Pretty fair trade, I think. A salary swap, and Buenos gets a couple of pitching prospects that may or may not make it. Cuevas is right now the 189 number prospect, and I'm assuming Llagues is higher when he's healthy. All right, so that was that trade. That was the final piece of Istanbul's trade deadline puzzle. They had 2 other trades at the deadline. And let's look at them. The big trade to me for Istanbul, the big long-term trade was to get Hercules from Helga. This is a fantastic starting pitcher. Helga had it to spare because he's got Naz and Naka and Naz. And if you got 2 aces, can you really afford 3 aces in the rotation? Man, I'd like to have them, but Helsingborg used this to get some position players, and we'll get to that in 1 second. But Hercules, man, fantastic looking pitcher. Started 21 games up in Helsingborg with a 3.97 ERA, 9-5 win-loss record, 132 WHIP, ERA plus of 111. 3.5. Fantastic pitcher right here, man. A lefty at that. A lefty. Outstanding. Hercules. He is he's done his major league minimum wage time, and he is due for a big payday. However, Orlando already negotiated him out to a $4.65 million a year contract for 5 years with a team option in the final year. Great contract, man. Oh, making me so jelly. So in return, what does the board get? You can see I liked this trade because I thought it was a good trade for both teams. If anything, I felt like this probably helps out Helsingborg more than it helps out Istanbul. So Helsingborg sent Istanbul's first 2045 first round pick as well, which, with Istanbul competing this year, it's not going to be a 1-1 pick, certainly, but still be a valuable pick. Meanwhile, Helsingborg gets Chris Carrillo, Rod Velasquez, and Jeff Day. So let's look at these players. Who these players at, man? Well, Chris Carrillo, man, look at this guy. incredible defensive outfielder, um, elite defensive outfielder with elite speed and a good bat. Wow, man, this is a rare kind of a guy right here, Carrillo. He hit 272 with a 350 OBP at Istanbul, but he's got power. You can see 22 home runs, 3.7 more. At Helsingborg Stadium, this guy's going to blow up. You know, Helsingborg has a little small. What's Rad's word for it? A porch, a little front porch stadium. This guy is going to be. He's 23. He's due at least one more year on the minimum. Oh my goodness. It's like giving sugar crack to a meth addict or something like that. So Helsingborg gets what they wanted. This guy right here, the center fielder. If that's not enough, they get an outstanding prospect and pitching prospect in Rod Velasquez. He spent his year down at most of the year between AAA and the big league club at Istanbul, starting 11 games for the Ottoman. Not a great 1.47 whip, giving up 2 home runs per 9 innings. But man, he's a good-looking pitcher here, if my scout's to be trusted. He is a fly ball type of a pitcher, so, you know, anyway, maybe not the elite, but certainly a number 3 or number 4 pitcher. It should fit in just fine at Helsingborg. He started 2 games at Helsingborg and is 1-1 with a 1.00 whip. Got a really good start at Helsingborg. And the final piece was Jeff Day. Day is another center field prospect. He probably will perform at a small stadium very well. Probably at a neutral or a big stadium, he won't perform quite so well. Yeah. Although he's got an outfield range of 55 and he's designated as a center fielder, you see he has a minimal rating in center field. He's played his career apparently in left and right. I'm kind of guessing Helsingborg got him and they are forcing him in center field. Yeah, he's played 6. Yeah, that's right. He started 6 games at Helsingborg's AAA affiliate. Started six games in center field as Helga is trying to get him some reps in center and get him some versatility in the outfield. He'll never be a 60 rated center fielder, but maybe a 40 to a 50 rated center fielder is good enough. I'm guessing he's probably going to be a 40 rated center fielder with that arm in that range, and you know that's good enough. Swing somebody out in center field in the late innings when they have to have somebody. So fantastic trade for I thought this was a fantastic trade for Helsingborg. On the surface, Hercules was the gem of the trade, no doubt, elite pitcher. But I like what Helsingborg got here. The third, or actually the first Istanbul trade of the day was with Australia. And I kind of had my doubts about this Australia trade. I was surprised because both Gerardo Infante and Junk Stick Kim are kind of older and kind of on big contracts. And Australia has been looking to move them. And 34 years old, 10 million, 34 years old, 15 million, both having fantastic years. You can see Infante was 13-8 on the season with a 3.11 ERA and a 1.18 WHIP. I think he was exceeding his, he was overplaying his ratings earlier this year. I think he's underplayed his ratings down at Istanbul. I don't know what it is about Istanbul Stadium, but it seems like some guys just don't perform down there, and I just don't know why. But anyway, strong pitcher, solid pitching rotation guy, and he'll get better. He'll perform better than this 7.15 ERA. But yeah, so that was piece 1 of the deal. Piece 2 was Junk Stick Kim. His nickname is Big Stick, but every time I look at his name, I think Junk Stick. Again, Very solid pitcher. He's on a $15 million contract through next year. And he had a much better start than Infante did down in Istanbul. 3.52 ERA, 1.24 WHIP over 2 starts. So this guy is a solid addition to Istanbul's rotation. Solid addition to Istanbul's rotation. By the way, really, I'm a huge fan of the Istanbul logo, the crescent moon and star and the baseball. A beautiful, man. I love that logo. Lettering is kind of hard to read there, but I love the visual logo. And in return, Australia, for these two big stick guys, Australia got Istanbul's first round pick in 2046, the second round pick in 2045. So they got something really good here. That alone, to me, was worth the trade. Moving the salary, those 2 high round picks. But in addition to that, Australia also got starting pitching prospect Hoyt Easton. And this guy, he reminds me a lot of Leo Morales. Decent stuff and decent movement, outstanding control. Probably a bottom of the rotation guy at best, but a guy who can absorb innings and who won't blow up too bad too often. A number 5 kind of a guy, and good guy to have. He's durable, and so you can see that Australia currently has him on their single A farm team. He needs to be playing at least. He needs to be back up on double A, or excuse me, at least double A, probably on triple A. So, Leach, get your shit together, pal. Get him up to triple A. Don't just let him waste away down in single A. I really thought, I know Yankee wanted to compete, and he got 2 guys that will let him compete. I think they're both signed through, well, Infante might just be a loaner. Through the end of the year. Junkstick is signed through next year. The player option for next year at $14 million. Okay. So Junkstick will probably stick around for the next year. Infante, if Yankee wants him, he'll stick around. But so I thought that was a pretty high price to pay for what might amount to a couple of loaner guys. I really thought Istanbul was going to make a run for the playoff this year. I did, and then they had that really lousy series of sims, losing 8 of 9. Tough luck. I sure didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody did. So anyway, those were Istanbul's 3 trades. Basically, it was about pitching. 3 guys for the rotation and a solid reliever. And I'm wondering, Artak is not the closer, is he? He's just he's the top bullpen guy, the go-to bullpen guy. So, yeah. And is he signed through next year? Nope, he is signed. So this might be a loaner as well. Artak, $12 million for a guy's a reliever. Man, I'd get some innings out of this guy at the bottom of the rotation. Maybe number 4 or 5. I think that'd be a better use for him. I just hate the idea of spending that much money, $10 million plus for a bullpen guy. But anyway, Istanbul thought they had a chance to compete. They went after some rotation arms and some bullpen. And of these trades, I really like Hercules, of course. And I hope Hercules stays around in the Istanbul rotation and anchors that as their ace for a long time to come. Maybe not even their ace. I mean, they got Sugar Bear, they got Goody. Those top 3. You can put a couple of guys. Leo, Yankee, you need Leo Morales to soak up some innings next year, and I'll make you a good deal for Leo. But with Gutierrez and Sugar Bear, man, you don't need a whole lot more than that. Sugar Bear and now Hercules. Yeah, I think Herc needs to be your number 1 guy, though. Your number 1 ace. All right. back to the trades. So those were the 3 Istanbul trades. There were 2 other trades at the trade deadline. They both involved Amsterdam. So let's move on with it. Amsterdam traded. This is a pretty heavyweight trade here among division near leaders. Cairo sent Cam Corbishley, the Bishop Mega Man. He's currently set as a reliever, but probably needs to start. You see he pitches, he's a flamethrower, 100 miles an hour. I was actually in talks with Fignuts a season or so ago involving Bish, and we never could exactly make it work, probably because I'm an idiot. But anyway, Bishop got moved to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam's got him in the starting rotation. He started 3 games, 1-1, 4.26 ERA, and 1.58 WHIP. He's a young guy. He's 21. He's really struggling with his control, but he is likely to grow into it. He's got a flaming fastball, incredible fastball, and it's hard for most batters to catch up with it. In addition to that, he's just a good guy. In return, this was a straight 1-for-1 trade. Jaime Juarez went to Cairo, James Dean, and you can see he has got fence power for days. 21 years old, so it's a 21-year-old for a 21-year-old corner outfielder. And man, there's a big trade here. Big trade. You can see he hit 272 with a 335 OBP at Amsterdam. He has yet to play a game for Cairo. Oh man, rough, man. He should be in Cairo's lineup. I think Fignuts was really disappointed about this, man. Well, he'll be in the lineup for the playoffs. Is there still a hole? Yep, still a hole at the number 2 slot. Get that shit fixed, OU. I think Figs has been out of the country or something, making big oil money or something. I don't know, man. Send some of that big oil money down here, man. I could use it. The other big trade with Amsterdam at the deadline was another blockbuster trade. This time it sent Raul Torres to Vegas. Vegas got one of the top pitchers in baseball, just coming off of a something like a hamstring injury or an ankle injury or something like that. And oh my goodness, look at this. Who wouldn't want Torres? I offered Amsterdam my entire 2046 draft rights for Torres, because I don't have anything else to offer, man. But he wanted what Vegas could offer him. 5-star, 100-mile-an-hour ground ball pitcher. Jiminy cricket. Vegas, you got your pitcher, man. You've been wanting a starting pitcher for seasons, and you got him. He's made 2 starts for Vegas, 2.40 ERA, 1.00 WHIP, 9.0 strikeouts per 9, 7.5 strikeouts per walk so far. Oh my goodness. Whew. Yeah, Amsterdam started him down in AAA this year. Well, actually, no, he didn't. He started him. That was his rehab duty, wasn't it? Down in AAA, 2 starts. Mercy. Raul Torres, loved that guy. So what did Amsterdam get in return? Well, they get any draft picks? He got a 7th round pick. Why? Oh, here's a 7th round pick. Why? I don't know, man. So what did we get? Well, let's just start with the centerpiece. Neumann Farid. You can see, much like Helsingborg, Amsterdam here went for an elite center fielder. The guy has elite defensive ratings in the center field, elite speed, maybe let's call it great speed, great base path speed, and really fine hitter, really good contact, power, and eye. And at Vegas, he has started the season, and I'm presuming he started in center field Vegas. He has made, he's been all over the place. 49 games in center and 28 starts in left field in Vegas. He even made 2 starts in right field. Kind of wasted in right field, wasn't he? But he's about a 0-0 zone rating guy in center field. He's not going to hurt you in center field, which is more than can be said for many of the guys playing center field in the WBL. A very good left fielder. 26 years old, and he's still at the minimum, so he's kind of a late bloomer for Vegas. He's been on the pro rosters starting in 2042, so he's in his final year of the minimum. I presume, is he already, he's not even, what? He's not arbitration eligible yet? Oh, you go ahead and get this guy on some real money. You guys, he's starving these guys. 409,000. Are you kidding me? For this kind of talent? Owners getting rich off the poor starving players, just making $409,000 a year. Are you kidding me? $409,000. All right, so that was the centerpiece of the trade. In addition, what else did Amsterdam get? We got Rogue Mobs, 22-year-old lefty pitching prospect. Actually, really not a prospect anymore. Strong-looking guy. He's got a devastating changeup that'll leave you just sitting there with the bat on your shoulder. Either that or you swung about 2 seconds before the ball got to it, right? He normally throws about 90 miles an hour, but I hear the changeup comes in at clocks. It looks like it's coming at you at 90 miles an hour when it leaves his hand, but it comes in at about 45.2 miles an hour. And so you'll see guys taking 2 or 3 swings at it before the ball actually gets to the plate. Down in Vegas, had a 3.98 ERA, started 23 games and a 9-8 win-loss record, 132 whip. This guy, although he's only 22, these are big league numbers right here. So he's done really well in Vegas, and Amsterdam did not get themselves no chopped liver when they got this guy. He is, when you dealt the best, but you got a really good-looking left-hand rotation guy right here. And in fact, I think the guy's probably, although Super Mario 9000, it says his control is about a 50. Yeah, okay. He definitely needs to grow into that control. I'm assuming most of those walks happen earlier in the season. Yeah, you don't walk 3.8 guys per game with a 50 rated control, so I presume he's grown into that. So that's Rogue Mobs. Vegas also sent Moon Young Park, 39 years old, salary dump, Coffin, making only 4.6 this year. I thought he made more than that. But you can see with his control rating, probably not going to last much longer. He can't find the plate anymore. Almost as many walks as strikeouts, and he is a strikeout artist. So you're probably looking at Coffin in his final few appearances in the big leagues. Also, injury-plagued Langang Kasuma, also not chopped liver, also capable of twirling some starting innings. Probably, I'm guessing Kasuma is going to be trade bait in the off season. And then Jose Barton, another good-looking fringe starting pitching guy, making less than $1 million a year. Yeah, left-hander, Jose Barton. He's had some really outstanding years, but has just never had the team around him to get a good, strong record. He is out with a ruptured bicep, and yeah. Speaking of which, so those are the trade deadline deals. We had another sort of a tic-tac deal before the deadline, and I'm coming up on 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this short here in just a minute. But we had a couple of fringe prospects trade hands. Amat Erez, 28 years old. I call this guy a fringe. He's got a blazing fastball, outstanding slider, but he tends to throw home run pitches. You can see down at Buenos, he threw 1.4 home runs per 9 innings. He's probably, Um, that's actually pretty dang good, 1.52 whip. Man, that's hard to understand. He must have been giving up a lot of contact. 33 innings, 38 hits. High BABIP on the Buenos. Well, yeah, Buenos. This is probably on the defense right there. The only hits this guy should be giving up are the ones that go out of the park. Anyway, he's probably performs better with a really good defense around him, I'm guessing, Ahmet Arez. And in return, good air got Ben Hamal, first baseman. Yeah, kind of a, in terms of contact, kind of a fringy guy, but if he puts the bat on it, it's liable to go a long way. So that's what Buenos got out of the deal. Hitting 083 so far with a 241 OBP. Yikes. Not great, but 27. Maybe he'll have a better year next year. And that's pretty much it. I guess the day before that, there was another fringy trade. Berlin was looking to get rid of. Berlin was looking to get some kind of value out of corner outfielder Francisco Sanchez, right fielder Francisco Sanchez. So I sent them a 5th round pick, and I needed to send them a tripod to make the deal work. And Sanchez, for me, I mean, was he worth a 5th rounder? Sure he was. He's hitting 245 with a 330 OBP, and I'll take that 330 on base percentage all day long because my guys just ain't been. Is this guy playing in the outfield? No, he's not good. You can see he was a minus 13.8 zone rating fielder in right field for Berlin, and I've got him set up as my designated hitter. You can see he's got good base running instincts. Extincts. His speed is extinct, but his instincts are still alive. Making $8 million this year. He wants $11 million. Heck no, man. Heck no. Tripod. I never brought him up this year. I thought he was worth bringing up, but yeah, he's really fallen off this year. 35. He's age 35. He did great for me last year. He had how many saves? 14 saves for me. 343, 1.20 whip. Did fine last year for me. 133 ERA plus. Really, really good to have on my staff. But over the winter, don't know what happened. He ate too much borscht over the winter, I guess, if that's possible. So that was pretty much it. I wanted to show you one more thing as we play taps in the background. And that was this. Cairo got pretty bad blow. And it was Paul Chester's career-ending injury. Chester's had some bone spurs, and his career, he decided instead of rehabbing it, his career just 6 months after signing a 5-year contract extension of $36 million, he decided to hang it up. You can see that he had a little bit of, he's been fairly, well, in 2039, he tore a flexor tendon, was out 7 months. Other than that, he's been injury-free until last October. He had some shoulder soreness and sat out for a few days. Fine, no problems. But in May, he has been had a little trouble controlling his pitches this year, and so he opted to have surgery to remove a bone spur from his elbow, and didn't rehab quite as well as he had hoped, and so he decided to hang it up. Nevertheless, he had 9 starts at Cairo this season. He was 4-2 with a 3.10 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Cairo had him as the number 1 guy in the TUT rotation in 2042 and 2043, and you can see the guy did fine work. 3.83 ERA and 1.31 WHIP in 2042, and a 4.00 ERA and 1.36 WHIP in 2043. 34 starts each year. And anyway, it's not often that we see a team's ace go out to a career-ending injury while the ace. And, he really didn't. I started to make a quip about overuse and overwork on Cairo's four-man rotation. But you know, their four-man rotation didn't last long, and he really didn't get that many. 202 innings in 2042, 193 last year, and only 52 innings into his time this year. So, R.I.P. Paul Chesters. It's been good to know you, pal. Too bad about that, man. For a $36 million contract, you know, you could have pitched for a long time down in AAA on that kind of good money, right? 25 years old. Let's look at his pitching stats over history. You can see that he was a long time he was a Helsingborg prospect brought over in a 2040 trade involving Keyworth, Silky, and Rageb Pastafad, by his noodly appendage, Pastafad, and Joku Kaukonen, son of Jorma, great guitarist Jorma Kaukonen, and big trade between Helsingborg and Cairo in 2040. And so Chesters was an all-star in 2039, the year before he was traded. And all-star, and he blew out his elbow right after his all-star game. Oh my goodness. Pitcher of the month, May of 2044. He was, we talked about this earlier in the season. He was designated pitcher of the month the very next day. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the next day. On May 1st, pitcher of the month for April. On May 21st, he was injured. His final game, he only had, oh my goodness, he got one out, gave up one home run, 3 earned runs. I said, Coach, that's it. My arm's done. I ain't got nothing. Struck out one guy and gave up the world. Ow. Owie. Owie McWowie. That was, let's see, bottom of the inning. Oh, wow. Let's look at Chester's final moments as a Tut. Leadoff hitter Linus Enquist, solo home run, mashed a 419-foot to left center. Wow. DLS on a 1-2 pitch was hit. Petya Wideneff doubled in, or doubled DLS to third. Then finally, Chesters gets his final out of his career. Bailey Gilliland struck out swinging on a 3-2 pitch. And at that point, Chester said, Coach, my arm's gone. I can't pitch, man. And so he was relieved by Shane Raitt, who instantly gave up those 2 runs to Carlos Bonilla. Tough way to end your career. But that's it for Chesters. All right, guys. Well, I've let this go long enough. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. If you have a minute, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd appreciate a thumbs up or a comment. My channel is tiny little channel, but over time, I appreciate all the love I can get on it. And who knows, you know, it might be feeding me in my retirement one of these days. I'll be a starving YouTuber if that's the case. But well, all right. That's it from Cairo. It's your intrepid reporter, your doggone reporter, Wendell G. reporting in, and we'll be back.